back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Hi, I talk about books and writing, and today I'm talking about The Spice Cocoa Cafe by Harper Graham. Okay, before I get into this, normally I'd go into like breaking down how I do my reviews, but I actually have to give some content warnings and some trigger warnings because I'm going to be talking about some very heavy, very unhappy subjects. And I was reviewing a cozy Christmas romance. So if you have been through the loss of a partner or family very suddenly and very unexpected, and emotional abuse, this is not the review for you. This is not the book for you. I have other reviews coming of like cozy Christmas romances that are not triggering and are actually fluffy and cozy. So, and you know, if you're just looking for something entertaining and Christmas themed, I highly recommend my review of Ring the Bells by C.K. McDonald, which is already up. Other than that, you know, yeah, this just, I would say stay away from this review, stay away from this book, because I'm going to be talking about them a fair bit, and the book talks about them quite a bit as well. So yeah, that said, I'm going to do a synopsis, I'm going to do my likes, unfortunately all have caveats, and then I'm going to do the dislikes, then I'm going to wrap this up in a neat little bow of a conclusion, and then we're all going to go and have a lovely rest of our day, and I'm never going to think about this book ever again. Anyway, let's get into the synopsis, shall we? Cassidy has moved to Maple Falls. She actually grew up nearby, a couple of towns over. She'd been living in Paris. She's a chocolatier, and she has just taken over Cocoa Corner, which is an already established chocolate shop that actually got a mention in the last book. I think Cassidy might have gotten a mention in the last book. I cannot remember. Anyway, Liam has opened up the shop across the road. It's the Hot Honey Farm Shop, and obviously they meet, they fall in love. It's not easy. The path of true love definitely does not run smooth in this one. And going on in the background, you've also got, there's a competition for like 4 businesses are involved. They just pick 4 at random or something. I don't really know. And they all have to do a display every week, like a big light up Christmas display, and there's a competition. Whoever wins, they donate money to a charity of their choice and all this. And yeah, that happened, and someone is going around destroying people's Christmas decorations and stuff, like for businesses, not like personal ones. And it's, yeah, that's all I can really say, because I'm about to just rip this apart even in the likes. So yeah, let's just do this, shall we? While I still have some sanity and Christmas cheer left. Okay, number 1, delicate subjects handled well until they are not. So Liam does struggle throughout the book. He 4 years ago lost his partner due to black ice on the road. She did not survive the car crash, and he has not dated since, which part of me understands, and part of me is like, have you heard of therapy? And I know in America therapy costs a lot of money, and I'm a privileged position of the UK where treatment and stuff is free, but then, you know, surely there's got to be a drop-in facility or something for you to get yourself sorted, because you locking yourself up like this every year for 4 years on the trot isn't healthy. First year I'll grant you, second year it starts to get easier. It has not. He has not dealt with this, and while it was nice that he didn't just magically get better overnight, given certain other things, it did happen very fast. And yeah, it was handled delicately to a point, but when it went off, it really went off. And I'm going to say the same thing about Cassidy. She has taken a year out after leaving an abusive ex who she caught in bed with someone else, and she's dealing with it pretty well. And she lost her parents at Christmas, and she still loves Christmas, and she's dealing with it really well. That's the one bit she deals with. She just loves it. And I know a few people said she felt a bit too heavy on the quirky. Yeah, you could get a bit of manic pixie dream girl. And there's one quote in particular that people do call out. Now, if this book hadn't felt so damn heavy and had more humour in it, I think the joke that would have landed, whereas it doesn't for the quote that everyone calls out about, you know, her looking at Liam and stuff. And I do think that is just the fact that this book was just too damn heavy at times. And there's also the fact that she, and I have to do this as YouTube friendly as I can, she's never got her rocks off with a partner. And this is actually another one that I was kind of glad to see, because you know what? It's not that uncommon. And the reasons vary from woman to woman. It's usually a psychiatric thing, you know, it's a mental thing that you struggle to just let go and enjoy yourself for whatever reason. So I thought it was actually, for the most part, I was like, yeah, this is actually kind of nice to see. I think it's handled well. It's something I understand from my own experience. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I can get behind this. Yeah, until I couldn't. That said, number 2, the smut. So when Liam does finally get her to get her rocks off, as a scene on its own, I liked it. And the smut is well written again, much like in the last book. I think it was done well. Taking that scene where he finally does get her off was, you know, out of context of what I'd read just prior to that and everything that came after. I actually liked it. I thought it was done really lovely. I thought there was a lot of heart to it, but the book had already killed my goodwill by that point. So, yeah, I didn't like it. I hate to say it. I was already kind of rooting against him, which is a real shame because I liked Liam in the last book. I remember saying it on camera. There's evidence that I liked him and I was looking forward to this. So while the smut is well written, which, you know, it's the same style as the last book, there is, I think, technically less smut, but a lot more dirty thoughts in this one. It was a real shame because I think this scene could have been really good, and I had issues with seeing the romantics, the smut scenes afterwards because of things that had happened going on that I'm going to be breaking down in the dislikes. But yeah, this book lost a lot of goodwill with me that I didn't feel like the smut scenes were earned. By this point, I almost wanted to grab her and say, get out. So yeah, there's that. Number 3, the mystery. So, who is the person that has been dubbed the gingerbread jerk that is going around destroying the Christmas decorations around the town? I actually didn't mind this. This was the one bit I liked the most, I think, in the end. And it was a pretty low bar. Thankfully, the mystery didn't bring a shovel that day. Now, I liked the conclusion. I won't give it away in case you do want to read this. Obviously, I'm not selling the book particularly, but you might want to read it anyway. And because I know I'm in the minority, I looked at the reviews on like Goodreads, and they are more positive than negative. Fair. So yeah, I liked it. There was one thing I didn't like though, because there seems to always be a caveat to my likes with this book, was that one person got accused and he was kind of a bit of a grump and kind of rude to Cassidy from the beginning, and I never felt like why he was being that way or any real apology got that little thread resolved. And I was like, do you know what? You're just an arse, mate. Nah. So it was a shame that that happened, but other than that, yeah, I thought it was actually kind of entertaining. It wasn't something that got thrown in and then forgotten. It did recur throughout the book as a decent B-plot. So there is that. So let's really tear this apart and get into the dislikes. So before I start, I've got to say, I really did like this book. When I first started like writing this review in my head, I had positive things to say. It was great. And then the book just turned on me. And let's start with where it turned, with number 1, the third act breakups. Okay, so the first one isn't technically a third act breakup, but the fact that, you know, this kind of happened twice was a little much for me. I feel like Harper Graham maybe gets a bit of a theme in her head of like, you know, loss at Christmas. We have to go all in on it and have them both lose people at Christmas. You know, breakups and misunderstandings. We can't just have one. We have to have a few. So let's just get into the first one and be done with it, because this one made me really friggin' uncomfortable. So, first up, okay, so Cassidy and Liam are going to be having dinner that night. He's going across the village, gone across the village. You can tell what I've been writing about. He's gone across town. He's going to go and pick up a bottle of wine to take over. And he sees Cassidy in the village square, in the town square, sorry. I'm going to keep saying village, and I do mean town. I'm very tired of this book. And anyway, he sees her in front of the Christmas tree with this guy, and they're laughing and joking. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's the misunderstanding, then it must be her brother, because she does have a brother. And then the guy gets on his one knee and asks her to marry him. And I was just like, wait, what? This has come out of nowhere. Everyone seemed really happy for them. The fact that they had all been getting doe-eyed over Cassidy and Liam getting together, 3 pages before, got very quickly forgotten for this moment, which I didn't love. Liam has a panic attack. And this is where my, delicate subjects handled well to a point comes in. Because the thing is, he has a panic attack, gets in his car, drives off somewhere, lets this little cabin out on the edge of town, and he only lets his brother know where he is. There is snow, there is ice. Don't get in a car when you've had a panic attack and drive. I say this as a woman who's had panic attacks. You don't know your backside from your elbow. I couldn't spell my own face if I was having a panic attack. So guess what? This was a really bad idea, given what he's had happen with him. So yeah, I didn't love that. And then we get the Cassidy chapter afterwards that explains her side of what's just happened. It's her ex. He has come over from Paris and he is, there suddenly on one knee with this massive ring. He is then horrible to her. He is verbally abusing her on the page because he kisses her because she's in shock. So I'm getting ahead of myself a bit. I'm really angry at this. She's in shock. He kisses her without her consent, and she hasn't said yes, by the way, to this marriage. And she's seeing people turn on her and be like, oh, why is she not being grateful that this guy who we've never met before is asking, to marry her? And again, Liam got forgotten very quickly by all you lot. You were all rooting for these 2 pages ago. So yeah, that made me quite uncomfortable, the fact that he's then verbally abusing her. And what I really didn't like, and it took me a bit of time to realise this, was while her friends stand up for her and shoo him off, and everyone quickly realises this guy is not pleasant and not good, and she is better off without him, and her friends step in and deal with it, is that she never really steps into her own power and properly gives him the telling off that he deserves from her. So I don't feel like she's had that growth that I was looking for. Because her friends deal with it. And yeah, all right, they shoo him off and he's never seen or heard of again. But taking that verbal abuse and then just not dealing with it herself and having her friends have to be the one to go back off and get to step in. I don't know, it didn't sit great with me, and I really could have... It made me very uncomfortable, the verbal abuse, just after what I've been through. And I'm actually pretty, solid with my mental health these days. I have not had a panic attack in a long time, and I have done all of the work that I've needed to do, and all the hard work at that. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it and admit to it. So yeah, that happened, and I didn't love it. But I'm not done with the breakup thing yet, because, by the way, he also just doesn't respond to her for days. She's panicking, she's worrying. But when he comes back, he doesn't mention that he had a panic attack, which would have made sense to tell her. That all just got forgotten and brushed over. And he's like, oh, I was really bad for what I did. And I'm like, I don't have the time, the energy, or the crayons to start explaining to you 2 dingleberries anything. So, yeah, let's just move on from that, because I'm not going to get any more cheerful about this subject. Okay, so they start sleeping. They've said, I love you. They start sleeping together. And then at some point, like maybe a few days in or a week, I don't even think it's a week in, I think it's a few days in, she actually opens up to him and admits that she's never, she'd already admitted she'd never been able to achieve completion with a partner, but she finally has with him, and she admits that she'd only been with her ex And she's being very vulnerable. She's laying herself out there. She's admitted that she's had a really amazing time. She's really happy. This is the happiest she's been. He's been incredible, you know. And when she admits that she'd only ever been with her ex prior to this, Liam dumps her. Yep. She gets vulnerable and he uses that as an excuse to break up with her. And I did get quite mad at that. And then, you know, more things happen. He accidentally does something that upsets her, and things happen. I'm going to get a bit more into that in the next point, but they end up getting back together, and it doesn't feel earned. I actually didn't want him anywhere near her. I liked Liam. I was rooting for you, my dude. And quite frankly, I think you're a tosser. Because as she actually fairly put it, if it's his problem, he has to deal with it. Don't put it on me. And yet, I feel that's all that happened. So let's get into capping this one off with number 2. Madison. I didn't love Madison. I didn't hate Madison. I thought Madison was all right. And I honestly wanted to sucker punch her. That's how much I liked her. Because after Liam does something that upsets her again, it is an accident, but she does not even really give him a chance to explain. And given his behaviour, I actually I do and I don't blame her. He should have tried to explain better. She maybe should have listened, but she was really hurting and I understood. And she raises the banners, gets the girls together. They all descend on her place. They have popcorn, they watch Christmas movies, they are talking about it. And Madison gets very defensive of Liam, to the point that she is snapping at Cassidy, who she knows was emotionally abused by her ex because she witnessed it, speaks enough French to know what he was saying, and yet can come into her gaff, drink her cocoa and eat her good popcorn and sit there and bite her head off in front of everyone while no one defended Cassidy. For the fact that actually your precious little Liam was in the wrong. And I felt, again, really uncomfortable. So, yeah, I didn't love that, because if that was me, I'd have turfed the bish out and she wouldn't be coming back in. I was getting to a point of, you deserve better than this entire town. Get out, my darling. And the worst part is that Cassidy then goes, oh yeah, you know what, you're right, I am in the wrong. I got to go and apologise for everything. And I'm like, you can apologise for not listening to him if he tried to explain what had happened, and for being mad at him about, you know, the damage he'd accidentally caused. That I will grant you. The other stuff, you aren't apologising for that because you weren't in the wrong. He was the knobhead. He was in the wrong. I got very, very mad. I have a lot of feelings and none of them are good. So yeah, okay, that happened and I didn't love it. I didn't even like it. I'm actually not reading romance books for the next couple of books because this book really put me off. Deep breath. It's fine. It's over. It can't hurt me anymore. Number 3. The insta-love. I'm not mad at a bit of insta-love. I prefer insta-lust. What can I say? But most of the books that I've seen accused of insta-love, it happens over like maybe a month to 2 months. It happens over a bit of stretch of time. This happened within, I think they must have been saying I love you about 2 weeks in, because this started at the start of the start of December, and they were in love and a couple before Christmas Day. This happened in a friggin' heartbeat. You know, this happened so fast, even I got whiplash. So, yeah, it was all way too fast. And for everything that Liam had been through, and while he did struggle right through, and even while they were getting into that relationship, it felt too quick. And that really frigging irritated me. Like, if that had gone into the new year, I would have been less mad at it. So, yeah, that's it. Even I felt this was a bit too instant. You know, I've had instant coffee that took longer to make than I feel like these two took to fall in love. And number 4, yeah, I know the dislikes are outweighing the likes. What can I say? I had a lot of bad things to say about this one. Too many subplots. I could have dealt with not having a few of them. Now, the competition, it felt a bit weird for me because Whoever went first in this competition was at a disadvantage because the others had longer to plan and prep and build their displays. So that just felt off to me. It was a small thing, but I don't know. By this point, I was just getting increasingly more irked with this book. And then the next one, and this is the last one really, it's at the beginning of the book. Liam comes into the chocolate shop and Cassidy's like, I have this gift. I can always tell someone's favourite chocolate. And she picks this one out and goes, this one. He tries it and he's like, yeah, it's fine. I prefer a Snickers. And then, you know, it comes up a few times in the book, not that often. It kind of got forgotten until the end again at one point. And he's like, it turns out when you get to his chapter, actually it was perfect and he loved it. Now, she's already got enough insecurities. Could we not have just given her this? Because she's then freaking out, feeling like she's lost her gift. She tries another chocolate. It's the same result again, but because obviously the first one was perfect. And then she's there going, oh, I'm going to have to make something completely from scratch. Now, I worked within the chocolate industry and that was starting to grab my interest because I thought, oh yeah, okay, this would be kind of interesting. He doesn't deserve it. But, you know, here we are. And yeah, then nothing happens with that. That just got completely scrapped. For what? I do not know. And then at the end, you find, you know, obviously he admits to things and she doesn't hit him. I mean, you know, I don't advocate for violence against anyone, especially not someone you're sleeping with or anyone at all. Don't go hitting people, but I felt like a lot of people needed a smack in the mouth in this book. So, yeah, it just felt like it got forgotten and it went nowhere and I just didn't need it on top of all the other bits you had going on. That was still just as interesting or at least more engaging. But, yeah, I just... it's over. I've talked about it. I just have to edit this video and then I never have to think about this book ever again. So if you have stuck around to the end, thank you so much for watching me slowly try not to have a mental breakdown. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you have read this book. I will confess I was excited to read the next instalment because that comes out in the new year as I'm reading this. I think it comes out in February or March or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. It is going to deal with PTSD and I am not feeling confident as a woman with diagnosed PTSD. So I don't think I'm personally going to read it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know your favourite Christmas film. Let me know your favourite Christmas book. Or even your favourite Christmas tradition. Just share something Christmassy with me in the comments below. Thank you so much for getting through this. Do please give me a like. It does help keep the sanity going. And if you are not subscribed, please do consider giving me a subscribe because it does help the channel out in a big, big way. So, that said, take care of yourselves and I will see you again in the next video. Bye!